All right, boys, have a seat. We need to talk about Chelsea Academy players that have been trimmed from preseason, including Broja, and what this means for their future at Chelsea. So stick around as we dive deeper into this. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Mike, host of the Upper 90 YouTube channel. We talk about the best team in London, which happens to be Chelsea, if not the world. If you agree with that, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. Now, I'm going to be looking at my screen here just to read a few things. But Broja, Gilmour, Vale, Tino have been cut from Chelsea's training camp, which are all academy players, which hurts, but at the same time does make sense. Now, what this article has been saying is that Thomas Tuchel is trying to trim down to a smaller group of players to get more playing time for the upcoming season, which does make sense because with so many players, we had, I think, about 30 at the beginning of the preseason. It's just too many players. You're not going to get everyone play time. Everyone's not going to see the pitch, and Thomas Tuchel's not going to be able to evaluate every single player, which, yes, is a shame for some players, especially some of our academy players that we'd hope we could rise through the ranks and eventually play for Chelsea. But it seems like these players may be on their way out. Now, I want to talk about Broja first because I think, or Broja, depending on who you talk to, but I want to talk about him first because it seems like he picked up an injury and has been flown back to London. Now, this could be multiple things that are going on because, as we know, West Ham are trying to seal a deal for this striker, around 30 million currently, which it could go up, could go down depending on bonuses. But this is kind of grayish right now. I'm not too sure if he flew back because of medical issues and there's more injury that's going on that he needs to get work done immediately, which would be a shame because that means he will not be ready for the season. Or he is heading back because he will be sold to West Ham, which right now I think he wants to be starting each and every game, and that it currently will not happen at Chelsea. Yes, he's a pretty good player, but he's not good enough to start Chelsea and be the front man for Chelsea currently. And that being said, even when we had Tammy Abraham, he was probably, I would say, in my honest opinion, better than Broja, and he was sold. So therefore, I think Broja most likely will be sold as well, which again, hopefully there's a buyback clause because I think this player can be very good in his future-wise. He is really, really young yet, but at the same time, we can't hold out on him and hope that he can shine at Chelsea because Chelsea is such a big club. We need big players to step up right away, and I don't think he's fully fit to play that position right now. Game time, yes, he would get some, but not starting each and every game. So again, that is up in the air. Now, the next player is Billy Gilmour. This, again, too, is frustrating because I really like Billy Gilmour. He's a very dynamic player. Yes, again, young. Did have a big injury a couple seasons ago with his ACL, I believe, or PCL. But did pick up an injury. But really, he is the only other player, in my opinion, again, that plays like Jorginho. Now, is he Jorginho? Obviously, no. He is not anywhere near Jorginho, but he has similaristic capabilities to play like Jorginho. And if Jorginho goes down, we have no replacement for him. There is no one on our squad that even comes close to him besides Gilmour. Now, Gilmour currently has been let go and is playing for a development club that's still in the States, so he's not really being loaned out or anything just yet, but I think the writing is on the wall that most likely he will be loaned out again. Yes, last season at Norwich was just absolutely devastating for this player. Things did not go well at all for him at that club, nor the club itself since they got relegated. So hopefully if we do loan him out, he goes to maybe a better club. I'm not too sure exactly who that would be. Maybe a Crystal Palace, Wolverhampton, something along those lines. A team that is better than Norwich and most likely will stay up in the Premier League and therefore, again, gets more experience at the club that he will play at. Now, the other two players, I'm not really too surprised by this. I mean, Tino, yes, that's not too surprising. And Vale, same thing. Both these players are still very, very young. Most likely will get loaned out again, and therefore this is not too surprising at all. So again, not too surprised by that. And then the other players we do need to talk about is Levi Colwell. I know I've talked about this guy multiple times, but picked up an injury at probably the worst time to pick up an injury during pre-season because right now, I'm not too sure what his future holds for Chelsea. He's already mentioned if we pick up more CBs, he most likely will be on his way out. And yes, we are rumored to link up with some other CBs, but we have not signed anyone yet. And the fact that he picked up this injury, now we do not get to see him play with the rest of the boys at Chelsea. And this is going to be very difficult for Thomas Tuchel to access such a young player, because again, we do not know how well he'll play at Chelsea. This preseason was really meant for us to see how well he could play. Hopefully he can come back and play in our last match. I don't think he'll be fit by Wednesday. Maybe, but still we don't want to push him. It is just a preseason game. So I think Thomas Tuchel will hold out on him as well. And our other two players I do want to talk about, even though I didn't mention in the beginning, is Conor Gallagher. This guy is an absolute stud. I think he played very well in our first preseason match. Yes, he did make some errors. That's bound to happen in any preseason. That's why you play the preseason matches, to get some of that rust out of your system. But overall, I was very impressed by this player, how well he was able to just, again, be all over the pitch, which I've mentioned before. He's like an Energizer bunny. This guy can play a full 90. He's so young and so committed that this guy is just going to light the whole Premier League up if he gets a starting role at Chelsea. That, again, is a whole other different topic, how we can fit him into a different formation. Whether Thomas Tuchel does that or not, that's totally up to him. And then Ampadu, I think, again, this player is going to be kept at Chelsea. I think he is going to be a rotational player at this club. Yes, he most likely will not start, but he can play as a CB. I mentioned this before. And he can be also CDM, which is massive for this club, because right now we really do not have a CDM, and we need someone, whether we still bring in someone like Declan Rice, again, most likely not going to happen, but we need to bring some type of CDM in, and Ampadu is the only player that can really play that position, so we need to keep him at our club. So I know I've talked about a lot in this video today, but mostly it's talking about the academy players that were trimmed from the preseason. Again, I'm not really surprised by half of these. Broja, I'm curious to see what happens with his future, though, because, again, he may be sold to West Ham, or maybe has a big injury and he may be out at the beginning of the season. It's hard to tell as of right now, so we will see what happens. So that is all I have for you today in this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. It helps get this video to more and more fans such as yourself. And if you did enjoy these videos, I have some other ones you may want to watch as well. So that is it, and I will see you next time.